And it looks like we are live. Hello, I'm Tiernan, and this is my channel, and today we are going to be discussing the murder complex. So go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Lindsay can go first.
Okay, hi guys, I'm Lindsay. I am an author at HarperCollins, and this is my book, Baby. It's called The Murder Complex, and the girl on the cover is my twin, and I'm really, really happy about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I thought you had a real twin.
No, no, I don't.
Really? I didn't know that.
No, this is my twin. They hired her.
That's crazy.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm Sasha, and I'm a booktuber over on my channel, A Book Utopia, and I'm just here today to chat about the murder complex.
All right. Well, we currently have one person here because we had to start over. So I'm going to tweet out this link.
I just Instagrammed it out with my face doing duck lips with it. Quality stuff.
You gotta commit.
So we'll wait for people to get here, and the Q&A is open for anyone here. It's in the bottom left of the screen, so you can go over there and ask questions, or you can tweet us questions. Hashtag the murder complex. I'll be over there.
Yeah, Lindsay, it does really look like you.
Right? The original concept. It literally, the original girl that they chose, it was identical to me, and I was like, I just don't know if I can do that. Like, have my face on the book.
It's like, that actually scares me a little bit. That looks just like me. Oh my god. That'd be so cool. But yeah, I love the cover. I think it's really mysterious, yet really, like, creepy.
Oh my god, I love the cover.
I should have painted my face like it for this live show.
You did.
You have a barcode on your forehead.
Oh
my gosh, yeah. Oh my gosh, I should have done the barcode. Where's my? I'm getting eyeliner.
He's gonna do the barcode. Okay. So I guess we can start. For anyone who doesn't know much about the murder complex, can you give us like the elevator summary of it?
Yes, my favorite part. So the murder complex is set in the futuristic Florida Everglades, and it is in a world where the murder rate is higher than the birth rate because every night at dark, people are murdered by like the hundreds. And there's two main characters. There's Meadow, who is a 16-year-old girl whose father has trained her to basically do anything that she can to survive, to get home at night to their houseboat, even if that means killing anyone that gets in her way. And then there's Zephyr, who is totally my book boyfriend, and he is an orphan who scrapes dead bodies off of the street, and their stories kind of like clash when they meet, and she saves his life, and it goes from there. And that's all I can say.
Yeah.
I have my barcode on my forehead. They have barcodes in the book.
Oh my gosh.
I'm probably going to take it off right now because
I do it with this pen.
I'm going to wipe it.
All right, okay, we just got a bunch of new people here. So we have a Q&A open. It's at the bottom left corner of this screen. Come and ask us questions, or you can tweet us. All right, we have one question. Lindsay, how difficult was it to build a brand new world of your own?
Ooh, so that's actually like the thing that I am so bad at, is the whole world building aspect of writing. Mm-hmm. I just like want to copy everything else everyone else has done. And so for me, I usually write, like, the first draft of my book is basically all plot, and there's like no descriptions about like the world around them. And it was actually my agent. We sat down, we went to dinner in Dallas, and we sat down, and she was like, I'm just going to ask you questions about the world and see if you can answer them. So she was like, where does all their trash go? And I was like, I don't know. Like, where does their trash go? And so she's like, you need to figure that out. Like, even the tiniest little questions like that can help, you know, make your world bigger and better. So for me, world building has always been a huge problem and struggle, but I think I'm getting better, especially as I've written the sequel now. But it's also fun when you get to see the end product and you look back at, you know, all the hard work that you've done, and you're like, I actually did create this, and it actually could be real.
That's really I love the setting of the Everglades in Florida because I honestly have never been there, and I think that you really created it in such a wonderful, like a really good way because I've never been there, but I definitely could picture it when I was reading your book. So I think that's really great. And I could picture the streets and the bloodiness of it and like all the gore and everything. And like honestly, usually in a book like this I would really cringe, but honestly I really embraced it in a way and like kind of try to put myself in the mindset of Meadow just because like you have to do that in this book or else like you're going to get grossed out. But I love it. I love the goriness of it. I think, well, murder complex. That's like the thing.
I think
someone comes in and you're like, go away, I'm going to kill you. I'm reading.
Like, oh my God, what? It's like, I'm like, well, I'm reading the murder complex. Expect me to be very violent when I'm reading this or something. But I really love the goriness. And the world building was very good, so I definitely applaud you for that.
I think that's a really interesting way to like build a world, like have someone ask you questions, because there are things about the world we have now that like you don't even think about, like where does their trash go, you know, and that
I don't know where my trash goes. I know it goes to garbage dump somewhere, but I don't know where that is, so that's a good question to ask.
Yeah, I don't even know that for our own world.
I know, right? Gotta get that question answered.
What?
I said my wolf cat eats our trash. He just goes in and just
your dog's so
cute. Every day.
Okay.
Thank you. There's so many.
Okay. We got some more questions. How long did it take from the inception of the idea of the book to the actual publication?
Hey, Tiernan, click on the question. Like, click on it so we can see it in the Q&A bar.
Oh.
Whoa, really? You can do that?
Press select.
There it is.
Yeah. Wait. Okay. Good.
Where's the Q&A bar? Sorry.
It's on
the left corner, or not the corner, but on the side.
And it says Q&A.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Oh, yay. Okay. So when I wrote the book, the first draft, where did you guys go?
Did we disappear?
Okay, you're still there. When I wrote the book, I was like, don't leave me alone. I can't do this on my own. The book actually took 2 weeks for me to write the first draft just because I was like just so in love with the concept of it. But then from there, I had to get an agent because I wanted my book to be with a bigger publisher so I could like walk into Barnes & Noble and see it and buy it in hardcover. That's always been my dream. So getting an agent, that process took about, after I wrote the book, 2 months or so of editing before I sent it out to an agent. And then once I got her, we were on submission for about 9 months. So it was, you know, a little bit, about a year and a half for the actual process to get the book sold. And then from there, it was almost a 2-year contract. So it's been like 3 years now of waiting. So I'm like, holy crap, it's finally here.
Yes,
like
finally.
the book that you'd actually like written from start to finish? Or have you been writing like all your life?
I wrote another dystopian before the Murder Complex. And that was, it was a really like cool concept, but it was like 150,000 words, which was like massively overdone. And it was just so not good. Like it was like, you know, when you start something out, like I was about to say, like, you know when you're making out with someone for the first time and it's like totally awkward at first and then you learn how to do it and then I was like, don't talk about making out. I'm like,
love that.
But anyways, yeah. The first book is always awkward and then you kind of figure it out from there, at least in my experience. God, yeah. That's not, don't repeat the making out stuff, people that are here.
We have it recorded. Some people are asking if this is going to be spoiler filled. There will be no spoilers in this. It's just a normal interview. But we're gonna like talk about the Murder Complex, but it'll make you want to read it, not spoil it.
Yeah. So this is like all. It's not spoilers, but it'll make you want to read it, so you want to do spoilers, but not right now.
Exactly.
That made no sense. But guys, after this, we may have to do like a live show after this with spoilers, because after this live show, people are gonna be like, "Ooh, I want to go read this book," or if they have not.
Maybe we will.
You guys can get it at Barnes & Noble. It's at Barnes & Noble's right now, and I know my Barnes & Noble has a lot of copies, so go check it out.
And local stores, your library, wherever books are.
I feel like I'm a hype girl right now. Just like Trina asks the questions, Lindsay answers them, and I'm like, yay, comments.
Yay. All right.
I love it.
Okay, so someone asked, is this going to be a series? I know you said you wrote a sequel, so is it going to be a duology, a trilogy, a quartet?
Ooh, a quartet. Wouldn't that be fun? It's 2 books, and wait, you disappeared again. Don't leave me.
We're still here.
No, okay. Repeat the question. You just asked if it was going to be a series.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, there. Okay. So it's 2 books, unless like there's always a chance that it could like become this huge thing, and then people would want me to write more. I'm totally going to be the next Cassandra Clare.
Totally.
Not. But there's also a novella that's out right now that is just a short story. It's a prequel about Meadow learning how to become a survivor. And I would like to think that there will be more novellas, maybe about Zephyr. And those are really fun, just kind of, little extras into the world.
That'd be so awesome, like a novella of Zephyr. He's definitely a character that I want to know more about, in a way, because he seems very mysterious in the books, and I really like that. He is very mysterious. His whole entire person is very mysterious until the end when you find out what actually happens. It's very interesting, the whole entire suspense of that. Then when you actually get there, you're like, hold up, does that really just happen? Like, it just all comes together so nicely.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome to write like novellas that delve into different characters. I love when people do that.
It's really fun to write too, because you get your secondary characters and you get all these people. Like, I would love to see a novella of, like Rue or Gale, like different characters from some of the series that I love that have made it big. So I enjoy getting to write them for my own. I think it's really fun.
Right. Cool. So who are some of the authors that you looked up to?
I love this question.
Michaela Woods.
Okay. There it is. So my ultimate author that I want to be this person is Lauren Oliver, because she's so talented. She writes everything under the sun, and I met her right as I was starting to write The Murder Complex. I drove down 3 hours to this book signing to meet her for her very first Delirium tour, and I told her, I'm working on a book, and I just kind of don't really know if I can do it. And she said, just read and write every day. And she said, if you want to be a writer, then just be a writer. And it was so cool coming from someone of her stature. I also obviously love Suzanne Collins. I wish that she still went into public and did events, because I would stalk her.
Yeah. I totally agree with that, though, because I feel like I wish she did some more signings and everything, because her book's getting so well known now because of the movies. I'm like, come on, I want to meet you, because I read her book in 2008. I've never seen her have an event, so it'll be nice to see her go out there again. Besides, on the press tours and everything of Mockingjay and everything.
I know, it'll be awesome. And then there's also Beth Revis. She wrote the Across the Universe trilogy.
Oh, I love her. She's so nice.
Best person ever, and she tried she has 7 books that were rejected by publishers, and then she finally sold Across the Universe, and it hit the bestseller list. So she is the picture of perseverance and the nicest person in the entire world.
She really is. I've met her a few times. She's so nice and so down to earth. And do you know who reminds me of Beth Revis is Marie Lu, because she also wrote multiple books before Legend actually got published, and when she finally got it published, she's like, yes, but she was about to give up. It was so close to her to saying, no, I just not going to submit any more books because I've already put my all into it. And finally she submitted Legend, and it turned out to be a bestseller too. So it's really amazing to see how hard you try and then see it actually pay off in the end.
Right, totally. And Legend is also probably my favorite series beneath The Hunger Games. I'm obsessed. So good.
So good.
That was a good question.
All right. Next question is from Arthur Lumbo. Has it been helpful or difficult to hear criticism, and do you enjoy it?
Oh gosh, I don't think anyone enjoys criticism. I think when I first they sent out review copies of The Murder Complex probably like 6 months before release, and I started getting, like the first day it was like all these 5-star reviews on Goodreads, and people were like, oh my gosh, like I've been waiting to read your book for so long and it's so good, blah 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 blah. And then like day 2 it was like bam, like suck fest. All the 1 stars, and I don't know, it was just everything kind of came in at once. And so that was really hard, because when you write a book, it's like a totally solitary thing, and you put your heart and soul into it, and it's literally just you and your agent and your editor that are working on this thing for like years, and then suddenly it's like out in the whole world and people put their opinions out there. So it's really hard at first to get that criticism, but then sometimes there are truths in criticism, and so it's been, you kind of have to look into it and be like, okay, I guess I can improve in some areas, and I'll listen to these. But if they're mean-spirited, screw them.
I totally agree with you. That's the same with booktubing. It's like you sometimes get those like hurtful comments that are like criticizing all your hard work and putting into these videos, and then within those, like you said, like there's always the good ones that do help you grow as a booktuber and like as a writer. And I think like some of the criticism, like I honestly like criticism, but not the rude kind, the kind that helps you grow as a person and not really takes away from you. So like usually it's like how they word it, and I think that sometimes it's helpful and sometimes it's just rude, and there's just, yeah, like you said, screw off, like get away, like I don't want to hear what you're gonna say if you're gonna say it like rudely.
Right, like there's a difference between, oh, you suck, your writing sucks, your videos suck, and maybe you could do this differently or improve in this area, and that's helpful, because then you do, and it becomes better.
I
agree. Sorry, I'm putting my hair up. I'm a hot mess. I just got back from feeding my horse, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go long.
I used to ride horses. I had to quit, but I love the horses. They're so sweet.
They're the best.
Okay, Destiny wants to know, what is your writing process like?
That is a great question. I love this question because every author has a completely different writing process. Mine just sort of is, I get up in the morning, I go and feed my horse, I walk my dogs, and then I come home and I write at my desk with no music, no distractions, facing the wall. I have like a cup of coffee, and I work for like an hour, and then I go take like a 3-hour nap, which is totally research. And then when I get up, then I write for like 2 or 3 hours when my head is like fully clear, because I'm not a morning person. Like I hate mornings. I want them to die.
I have a quick question actually. So your book takes place in the Everglades of Florida. Have you ever lived there, or do you go to there for research to like kind of get a feel as to like what your setting's going to be about, or did you just pick it out of the blue?
So growing up, I used to go to Florida every summer for like 3 weeks for vacation with my family, and I grew up like surfing and skimboarding and doing all those like beachy activities. And the beach has always been like such a fun, relaxing place, and I was like, that would be a really great setting to put like darkness and gore and like blood on the beach with like water washing it away. So I picked that because I knew the setting very well. So like I like to write the sunset scenes and like the seagulls and all that crap. But I've never actually been to the Everglades, so I kind of a futuristic thing, so I could like have Florida not be the same exact shape that it is now, so I could kind of.
I liked how it was, because in dystopian, like it's the same world, but you could change it around to make it suit your dystopian world, and that's what you did, and I think it was like an excellent way to do it, because I definitely like the descriptions that you had in it. So I was always curious about that question, like, have you ever lived there? Because I know, like, for example, Cassandra Clare, she goes to the places she's writing about and gets like really detailed descriptions. So like that's really good, I think, when authors actually go to the places that their book stars in, because it gives it a more personal touch, I believe. And I think that yours is a great touch.
And the best part about that is like if you want to travel to where your book is located for like research, you can write it off on your taxes, which is the best.
Yeah, that's like the best. That's what I do for my taxes. I'm like, okay, I bought some clothing for videos or something.
It counts.
I know, right? It does count, really.
That's awesome.
Hi, Jordan.
All right, so do you have a favorite character in your own book? This is from Jenny.
My favorite character is Meadow, but just because like Meadow is me, like I put myself into the story. When I was writing the Murder Complex, I was really, really sick from chronic fatigue, which I still have. It just makes you exhausted all the time, and you have no energy, like no strength to do anything. And you get like brain fog, all this crap. It's a lot better than it used to be, but when I was writing it, like I felt so trapped by my own body, and so I wanted to write a story where I could make an awesome female character who was like a total bad A, who was like trapped by walls and darkness, but was still able to overcome it. So I think it was kind of therapy for me to write like such a strong female character like her because she was doing things that like I couldn't physically do. So she's my favorite character in the sense that I feel super close to her. But my favorite to write is definitely Talon. That is Zephyr's best friend, and she is like, she's like she's so funny to me, and she just is kind of, she's kind of an idiot, and I just love that about her. She just doesn't care.
Yeah, I loved her character so much. She was a really strong character, and I really liked that. It was a good compliment with Zephyr. Like he was like, I feel like every main character should have like a supporting character, like as a friend or something. So it always gives it like his character a little bit more like, I don't know, like spark to them. I don't know. I just think it like really shows what character they are with like who they surround themselves with.
Yeah, that's totally true. Same in real life with a lot of people too, actually.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this question is from Melody. What's a genre that you think would be really challenging to write in, but look forward to writing in one day?
Ooh, that is an awesome question.
We're getting all the good questions.
Oh, it's from Melody. That's why I love her. So I actually have written a YA fantasy, and I'm also working on a YA contemporary. They're both really difficult just because they're so different from sci-fi. I would definitely say contemporary is hard for me because you can't really, it's so real. Like I can't just, throw in healing nanites or, futuristic devices that can help, the story or the plot move along. The contemporary has to be really real and really honest, and I would love to get better at that. I'll admit that I don't read a lot of contemporary because it's not like dark enough for me in an action-y sense. But I would love to be able to write like a Tiffyos or something someday. I know I'm not gonna ever be John Green. No one can be John Green, but it would be so cool to, be able to get better at that. Oh, John Green.
Don't we all? Your tattoo is getting lots of compliments.
Which one?
I don't know. The only one I've seen is the Fearless one.
Okay. Yeah.
What other ones do you have? Tattoo too.
If you don't know, guys, Meadow has the Fearless tattoo. I think that's so neat.
Yeah, Meadow has that, so I was like, I want to go get it. So I have that one. I have Alpha and Omega.
Oh gosh.
A feather.
Love that.
Right. Wait, can you see that? It says right. Reminds me to get off my butt and be lazy. I have them on my feet. I have them behind my ear. I have them on my back, on my side. I have a delirium quote tattoo. I love that one.
Oh, really?
And I also, it's I love you. Remember, they cannot take it. And then I also have an Elvish tattoo on my shoulder that says the Murder Complex in Lord of the Rings.
That's so awesome. That is so cool.
It is my favorite. It's totally my, because I was like, I can't like put the Murder Complex on my body. Like that will scare the children. And so
That's
I was
great.
like, I'll put Elvish. No one knows how to read Elvish except for,
Except you and whoever knows it. How many tattoos do you have?
like 13, I think.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. I would be scared to get a needle by me, but after seeing how Meadow got her tattoo, I think I'm all right. I think I could bear the pain.
Yeah, you could do it.
I'm so terrified of needles. I feel like I would just pass out.
Feel the pain.
Do it. You just gotta do it.
All right, so this question totally relates and is very important to answer. It's which Hogwarts house are you in and why?
Oh my gosh. I love this person for asking this. So I think people are going to leave this chat. So the other day someone asked me this, and I said I would be Gryffindor, and then I thought about it, and I was like, no, I would 100% be Slytherin. Like, I know that I would be.
Love that.
Right? I know. So I'm like,
Quiz on Pottermore?
Ew.
On Pottermore? I'm not on that because it took up too much time. But no, I would be Slytherin 100%. Like, I would fit in. I would like to start fights with people, and I don't know. What about you? What are y'all in? I want to know.
Me? I haven't read Harry Potter, but I know the main houses. I know I should read Harry Potter. I just like look how many books I have. Look how big my to-be-read pile is. See this bottom shelf right here? That's how many books I need. I know. And I'm getting to read Harry Potter, but I think I'm gonna listen to it on Audible, honestly. So that's what
that would be good.
Yeah, because like that's what I do with Game of Thrones. Because I know that's a really dense book, so I'm going to listen to it like probably when I'm on the airplane to LA on Wednesday, just because I can. So instead of music,
do it.
I don't listen to music. I listen to.
I don't know if I could listen to Game of Thrones as an audiobook. I feel like it would be like the mountains in the distance road. I would just like fall asleep. I don't know.
Have you read do you even have the book? Have you seen the TV show?
No.
Exactly.
I picture it so boring.
No judgment, Tiernan.
Whatever.
Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of
Leave your own
chat. I'll take over.
All right, so Jenny wants to know, what is your favorite part of writing?
Oh, I love everything about it. I love that I can create worlds that I can't go to myself. I've always been like an extreme fangirl, and I still am. Like if you follow me on Instagram, you just see that like I think I'm like fangirl first, author second in my head. So I love that I can create worlds that other people can like fangirl about. That's really exciting for me. And then I also love that I get to do what I love and I get paid for it. Like that is so strange to me that I don't have to like go clock in at a day job. I can like sit at home and just like be happy doing what I'm doing and love where I am in life. And that's what I love about writing, because it allows me to do that. I love it. And I love all the books.
Yeah, so what's your favorite place to write is another question.
I have a chaise lounge. It's like one of those like fancy, like fabulous like fainting chairs that you can lay in, and I have that with like I have like a big bookshelf up against it, so I can like rest my elbow on my bookshelf and like write with my other hand while I'm in my chaise lounge, and I feel like so fancy and cool, even though I'm so not.
Like writing like this.
Yeah, I'm just like
doing.
I don't have time for this.
Do you listen to music while you're writing?
I don't.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I know some people can like listen to music while writing and all that, and I'm like, how? Because like honestly, me while reading, people can read and listen to music, but I'm like, I don't listen to music to start off with. I'm not a very musical person. I listen to audiobooks, but like I would not be able to if I was a writer. Not all.
I think I don't know. I almost went to college for vocal studies, so like I'm obsessed with singing. Like my poor family, my husband, like I'm constantly singing to the point where he's like, "Babe, just calm down." And so for me, like if I'm listening to a song while I'm writing, I just start singing, and then I like bust out, in like a solo, and then the book is just like totally gone, and it's all about the songs. So.
Or start writing the lyrics in place for the words in your book. Like when someone's talking in the background, and then you type up what they're saying instead of what you're supposed to write, and that happens to me all the time when I'm talking to somebody. I'm like, why?
That's what would happen to me. I know it.
Someone's reading the sequel to The Murder Complex, and they're like, wait, these are the lyrics to Titanium. What?
I was like, what? Listen, I just bought Game of Thrones on Audible. No big deal. Thought I would share that with everybody.
Yay!
Someone wants you to sing for us.
Oh, they can follow my YouTube channel. I have one tiny song on there. I might do more in the future, but I don't want to do that right now.
And if you not know, Lindsay's coming to Chicago next month in July, and we're going to be collabing on a video, so stay tuned for that.
Is that, what day is that?
The 16th.
Yes.
I'm going to be at film school. I can't.
No! You just broke my little author heart.
Gosh, Shannon. You're
Come a different day. Any other day. Any other week, really.
Okay, I'll come back. I'm going to come back.
Okay. Are you touring like with other authors or just by yourself?
It's me and two other authors. Paula Stokes, she wrote The Art of Laney with HarperCollins, and Philip Siegel, who wrote The Breakup Artist. I think it's with Harlequin Teen. So we are doing a 7-state road trip tour. We're stopping at a bookstore in every state, and like we're starting in Minneapolis and we're ending back here in Texas in Dallas.
Are you driving up there?
What?
Are you driving up to Minneapolis, or are you taking a plane?
I'm flying there, and then we're all driving together. We're in the car, and we're driving down, and at every stop, we're meeting like a bunch of other authors.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's going to be so fun. So that's the Mighty Mississippi Book Blast. There's a Tumblr page for that with all the tour details, if you guys want to check it out.
And you're coming to Anderson's Bookshop in Chicago, so all you Chicagoans, stay tuned for that. It should be fun.
So fun. I'm excited.
All right. I lost the question, but it was if you could describe the book in 3 words, what 3 words?
I know what I would use.
This question is so hard for me because, like, the other day, I've probably gotten this question asked to me like 30 times in the past like 6 months, and I've begun to answer with the same 3 words. It's like bloody, futuristic, and thriller. And so the other day, someone asked me to describe the murder complex in 3 words, and I was like, the murder complex.
I like that.
That's
so
funny.
what are your 3 words?
Mine was going to be bloody, mysterious, and what was the third one? I didn't get the third one yet, but bloody, mysterious, and epic, probably, because it really is an epic story. But definitely bloody, mysterious, because it is bloody. But if you guys know me, if you watch my videos, I like bloody. I like books that make you cringe, because that means you feel something, and I like feeling stuff in books. If a book makes you cry, it makes you cringe in a good way, not like in a cheesy way. But this book does not make you cringe in a cheesy way. It makes you cringe in like a, oh my gosh, did that just happen way. I feel like if books make you cry or cringe, it's a good book because it makes you feel emotions.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I think I did cry in the murder complex just because I felt bad for the situation they were all in, but then again, I cry in like every single book I read, so for no reason. It's like something happy happens and I'm like, this is just so beautiful.
Oh, perfect.
Oh my gosh, something happened. She just killed somebody. And so I started laughing. Oh my god.
The feels.
The feel, seriously, yeah.
All right. So, which perspective did you prefer writing from? Like, was it easier to write from Meadow?
That's a great question. I think at first it was easier for me to write from Meadow's perspective, just because she's a girl and I put myself into her. Oh, that sounds so wrong. Oh, okay. Get it together.
Oh my god.
I put my mind into her body. Let's just say that. But then, as I went through and I got to like edit with my edit letter, I had a blast working from Zephyr's perspective because he has some really cool scenes, I think.
I agree. I think he has awesome scenes. Really, but like I love Zephyr just because he's so mysterious at the beginning and you don't know what's happening, and then once it finally comes uncovered, it's so interesting. But one of the things I loved about your book was that the chapters weren't dragging, they weren't long, they were really like, they weren't short, but they were just the perfect length. that like you don't get bored at all, and it's always like moving. The story's always moving. I really love that part about your book, and I wish that more books were like that, because some books, the chapters are so long and you're just like, I need to go to sleep. I want to end at the chapter, but it's just so long. And I love that your book was like really, really fast paced and always kept you entertained.
I know. I like it better with the short chapters, because you can just sit down and be like, okay, I'll just read a chapter, but then you just want to read more.
Like, no, just one more. No, I wrote it that way because I would get bored if the chapters were too long. I'd be like, time to move on, I'm done. So they ended up being really short, and now that's like the trademark of the murder complex. I'm like, but it was only because I got bored.
A good trademark.
All right. So you kind of answered this before with Lauren Oliver's tips for you, but do you have any tips for people who want to start writing now that you're successful as an author?
Successful. That's funny. I love that. What is Sasha doing?
My arm's so itchy. I was going outside today, and then like I got bit by like 5 billion bugs, and like my arm's all red.
Finally emerged. Get her.
I know. It's like, no.
Okay, tips for writing. So honestly, the advice that Lauren Oliver gave me is the best advice that I've gotten so far, is just to read and write every single day. Because really, like, you have to make writing a habit. And if it becomes a habit, it kind of becomes a part of you, and you can only get better by practice. And then something else someone told me, who was it?
It was me.
You gave me. Oh my gosh, you're brilliant. No, I can't remember what it was. I think honestly, just if you want to write a book, then you have to just do it. A lot of people I get a lot of people that tell me that they're afraid to start because like writing can be scary, or they think that they're not going to be good enough or not going to be able to finish it. But if you just dive in, I think you will find that it gets a lot easier from there. Just go for it, and don't be afraid, and don't worry about whether or not what you're writing is going to get published, because if you worry about like the success of it, then I think you lose like the joy of it. And the joy that comes in writing also shows through in your work. You can tell when an author is passionate about what they're working on. You can tell when someone is more focused on, is this going to be a bestseller? Is this actually, going to work out? Are people going to like it? But if you just write for yourself and write because you love it, I think something beautiful can come out of that.
I totally agree with you. And it's like writing shouldn't feel like a chore. It should feel like something you want to do. And I feel like if you focus too much on that stuff, it'll feel like a chore more than something fun. And then your readers can definitely see that, and that's not a good thing. So I totally agree with everything you just said, definitely. And I'm not even a writer. I'm just a reader, but I can definitely like see how like all those things will help. So whenever somebody asks like writing advice to me, I'm like, why are you asking me? Go ask the authors who actually write stuff. So listen to Lindsay, guys.
Well, it kind of seems like a lot of writing tips and a lot of things like in your writing career that you've been talking about kind of apply to like a lot of other things like booktubing. Like I'm over here thinking like that's totally what you have to do on YouTube as well. And there was something else we were talking about before, like with criticism and stuff.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to take criticism. It's hard to, be like judged on something that you love. But I think, especially being in like a creative type of business, like booktubing, writing, anything that's creative, you're gonna get different opinions from people because it's art, and I think that's hard. But if you can get past that and kind of learn from it and just better yourself more and more every day, I think the criticism can be good in a way.
I totally agree.
Yeah, that's really good advice, because like there's always gonna be someone who doesn't like it. And that just means that you're getting your stuff out there, and people will see it, and it will get better. And it's probably like not even that bad if one person is saying that, and 10 other people are saying that they love it.
Right. That's so true. Actually, I sat down with Rachel Kane. She wrote. She has a crap ton of books. And she.
Something vampire. Morgenstern.
Yeah, the Morganville vampire series.
Morganville, yeah.
Morgenstern. Wrong series.
Sorry.
But she said, like the more popular something gets, the more crap it's gonna get, and also the more like good that's gonna come out of it. So, that just makes sense, and I think a lot of people need to remember that.
I totally agree. Especially like if you guys could see, like for example, Cassandra Clare's writing. Lots of people say, since she has so many series coming out, like the Moral Intimate series is my personal favorite, but people always say like, oh, I like her other series more, like Infernal Devices. That's because she just gets better as she writes, and I bet she's seeing the criticism, but like in a good way. So usually, like when you do get criticism, the good type, like it actually improves your writing and improves who you are as a person, not just like for an author, but as like a person who you are. So, for example, Cassandra Clare, like how she has really grown as an author because her books have been getting more popular and she's learned through the process of writing a book how to become better. And I think that's very true. And I think like if like you're also like I know Lindsay, you like blog about books and you've done that before you were an author, and so when you start off like that, you automatically know what to do and what not to do. Not necessarily like as extent you will be, but like you do know the bases, and I think that's a great way to start off a writing career is like read, and that's kind of like tying it back to the first question.
That is very, very true. You have to read too. Like if you want to be a writer and if you want to write good books, you have to read good books.
And read the books that you want to write in too, because if you want to write young adult but you only read adult books, you're not gonna suit that audience. You need to know what your readers will be expecting.
Yeah.
Jordan?
Hang on. The questions keep going away. Hang on. I got this.
Oh, there's something right here. The first one that has 5 people wanting it. Want me to ask it? Jordan, I'm just gonna ask it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
How has writing this book affected your personal life? Has it changed how some people treat you?
That's a good question. I think a lot of times people are just like, that's a tough question. I'm like a defensive author right now. I'm like, how do I answer this? I would say a lot of times people will like assume like if they're making plans to go out and do something like exciting, sometimes they'll be like, oh, she probably just wants to stay home and read, like, or stay home and write something. That's definitely happened before. And then a lot of times, like if I'm on a really extreme deadline, like one example is for the Balance Keepers series. This is my middle grade trilogy that comes out in September. I am working. Yeah, you have it. I'm working on the second one right now, like the edits for the second one, and I've had to like shut out my personal life while I'm editing this because it requires like so much focus. And so sometimes like you have to cancel plans or you can't go hang out, and sometimes, you know, that's kind of sucky. But on the other hand, I don't have, you know, a day job that requires, you know, me to work for 8 to 12 hours a day like some people do. And so, you know, there's some things that are great about it, some things that are not. But all in all, it's affected me in a good way. I love it, and I would not trade it for the world.
Yeah, I could totally agree with that, like, as a booktuber standpoint. For example, I bet, like, when you go to conventions and stuff, and when you're going to be going to conventions, people are like, oh, author, let's go talk to them, and I think that's a great thing, because people, like, automatically, if you go to those conventions, they're going to be interested in you. They want to know more about that, so it does give you, like, a good treatment in a way, and it's really nice to see that, because I know if I, like, an author just came up to me and started talking, I'm like, ooh, author, I want to get to know this person, just because it's something interesting. So it does affect you in a positive way, and there can be negative ways to it, too.
That's very true. I don't think it's that way.
Yeah, because people like author, like that's automatically a ticket to like people wanting to talk to you and want to be your friend. And like I think it's good because if you're like, as long as you're a nice person, like if an author, I don't think like I have never met a mean author, honestly, personally. I've never met an author that was like, I always thought authors were mysterious people behind books until I started meeting them. I'm like, they're actually really nice people that I can definitely see myself becoming friends with. Like, Lindsay, I'm your friend, and like. We talk and all that, and it's like they're just normal people, but they write extraordinary books, and it's just like, it's really like they're alter egos in a way, and I love it.
Right, that's what's fun. Like and while you're writing a book, you kind of become your characters, and so you have like all these different identities, and that's also kind of fun. So like when people meet you, they're like, is she gonna be like her characters, or is she?
Does she have a knife? Huh? That'd be so funny.
I do carry. I do carry a knife with me.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
That's so cool. I carry a book with me, and if somebody like wants to harm me, I just whack them with my book, like you know.
Or like the book can block the knife.
Oh yeah, you know
exactly.
A bullet. No, a book can stop a bullet. Like somebody once got saved by a book. They say we're holding a book like this, and a bullet from a gun like rammed into their chest, but the book got it. So book saves lives.
So maybe I should have had like Meadow carrying a book instead of a dagger.
Like
yeah.
Re-edit.
Yeah, re-edit. Just like go and republish it.
Replace dagger with book in every sentence.
Yeah, I'm gonna write a book, and it's about a girl who fights crime with books.
So the first line, it's the key to survival, the key to life. My father's old book.
That'd be so funny. That'd be actually really good. Oh, and Lindsay, you also put a reference to Miley Cyrus, like came in like a wrecking ball in your book, didn't you?
Yeah, I totally did that. And you know what? I noticed it. I noticed that was in there during my edits, and I was like, "Oh, I'm still leaving it. I'm leaving that." And seeing if anyone.
On purpose?
No, but then she came out with her song, her naked weird song.
Really? Oh my gosh, that's so funny because I automatically thought it was Miley Cyrus. That's so funny though because it's like I know quite a few authors, like not quite a few, but I read one author recently that said Wrecking Ball, but it was like this high fantasy book, and I'm like, wait, why would they say that? And I'm like, was that because of Miley Cyrus? Like, these authors do that. I think it's so funny.
We have a secret author pact where we have to put like a reference to Miley in all of our books.
So. I can see that. If you don't, you're out of the pack. It's just. Sure. You have to. I used to see that happening. And you be the lead of it. You're going to be the head of it, Lindsay. You're the head of that.
The author pack. Oh my god.
I know that Jennifer L. Armentrout, she puts a ton of references to modern day society and everything in her books, and I love it because it's like, oh, relatable. And I find it so funny because it makes me always laugh. So when you said Wrecking Ball, I was like laughing, and I'm like, did she put this in on purpose?
So then I should change the murder complex to the Miley complex and replace every dagger with a book.
And just, instead of this face back here, make it like Miley's face with the tongue.
I got their tongue like.
Oh my god. If there's someone watching that can make that edit, please do it.
If they don't make it happen, I'm actually gonna start.
Someone do it.
I'm doing this. I'm doing it.
That'd be so funny.
Oh my gosh. That is so awesome.
I'm actually, guys, I'm seriously like doing this. I'm searching Miley Cyrus's tongue.
No, I'm sure it's everywhere.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's yeah, literally.
Wait. So you wrote that in the book, like the Wrecking Ball thing, before the song came out?
Yes, and then it came out, and someone mentioned it, like in my edits, and I was like, and I just left it.
I'm not taking it out. I was there before that.
If you search the hashtag Miley tongue, there's like 13,000.
I'm looking at these. Like, look at that. That's crazy. 13,000.
There's 13,000 Miley tongues.
Look at this one. Oh my god, look at that. Oh gosh, her tongue.
That's the one you can use on the cover. Put that on the cover. Make her face red and like a black background and the Miley complex.
I love it. I love it.
I'll make it the thumbnail for this video.
Miley tongue.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
I'm making this happen actually right now as we speak.
That is so.
Tiernan, is there another question?
Yes. Do you have any tips for writing a believable male perspective?
Hang out with guys, honestly. I grew up hanging out with guys. Like I hung out with guys. My best friend was a guy. My second best friend was a guy. My third best friend was a guy. And then one of my best friends is a gay guy. So
same.
All the guys. And so if you hang out with them and you spend time with them, then like you're gonna, kind of learn how they think, and I think that definitely helps. But also read books from the male perspective. Watch movies that have, main characters that are guys, because they do run very differently from girls. Very differently.
And I feel like if it's not distinct, like then it's gonna be like kind of blending it together. Like I feel like when you do dual points of views, you really need to have certain like separate voices, or else it's gonna feel like the same character. And I feel like you really did a great job separating the two characters, even though they are different sexes. It's still like it can be easy to blend them together. Bless you. Bless you. I'm working on the picture right now, guys. It's actually looking quite disturbingly good.
Like sometimes you'll have a book with dual perspectives and they're like the same voice and you never know who you're reading
like
from.
You have to like go and like read the chapter title and be like, who's talking?
It's like, oh, never mind, it's not the person I thought it was. This is awkward.
What do you mean?
Guys, look how silly this looks right now.
Oh my gosh.
It's coming together.
Can you make it a Miley complex?
Yeah, oh, no. I can't. I'll do, maybe. I need like a plain picture of the cover though. Lindsay, if you said, do you have a plain picture of your cover, just the girl without the text?
I have a picture of the girl before it was edited. It's like she's like wearing like rainbow paint. It's like totally different than what you would think. It is awesome.
Oh, I want to see that.
Show us.
Let me see it. I'll find it. I'll send it out, or I'll put it on my Instagram in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. I'm doing that right now. It's fantastic looking. I'm just saying.
I really want to see that. Okay. This is probably the most generic question you can ask an author, but it has a lot of thumbs up. So, how did you come up with the idea for this story?
The idea question. Yeah, I do get that a lot. But it's interesting, to find that out. So for me, I read this article about the small town that was like totally plagued by all these murders, and I remember thinking like, oh, that would be so cool if I set that in the future, and it would be so cool if I had like, these crazy characters that were able to fight back, but then also characters that were doing the murdering. So that was kind of the basis for it, and then the idea of the murder complex, like the actual murder complex. I'm not going to spoil it, obviously.
Yeah.
But for some reason, that title just like popped into my head. Like I was in the shower one day, like washing my hair, and I was like, the murder complex.
Murder complex.
And then it just happened. It just happened.
That's an awesome story. I'm just in the shower washing my hair. And it just came to me.
It was like this like little voice. It was like the murder complex, and I was like, oh.
Okay. What if you forgot that? I would like get a really good title in my head, and all of a sudden I would forget and be like, dang it!
All the time. I'm like, I don't need to write that down. It's in the brain now. Oh my guys, look at this. Someone sent me.
Who made that?
Oh my gosh!
This girl Melody made it.
Oh, Melody, she's so awesome.
Yeah, the girl who like does everything for booktubers. Thank you, Melody. This is hilarious.
Oh my God.
Mine's pretty long though. Look at this. I'm getting like it defined. It's gonna work out. Melody is thing. I love Melody. She's great.
That is awesome.
No, guys. Okay, gotta figure it out. Oh my gosh, guys, this looks so silly. I love it.
Okay, let me find another question. If you guys go into the Q&A and you see anything you like, a lot of them are just repeats. Let me go. What draws you to the genre of your book?
I just love it. That's what I love to read. It started with the Hunger Games, then it went on to like Divergent, 1984. I just I love that book. I don't know, I just like dark, futuristic stuff. I've always watched those kind of movies too growing up. Like my dad would always let me watch like these dark sci-fi movies. Also, I loved the Bourne Identity movies. I wanted a character that could like fight like Jason Bourne could fight. I don't know, that's just what I love. I love reading that kind of stuff. It's so fascinating to me. I took martial arts for a while because I like wanted to be like Meadow.
Oh, that's awesome.
I want to live in dystopian so badly.
Did you get my text, Lindsay?
No, not yet.
Okay, I think it's still sending. It's like wonderful. It'll blow your mind.
Is it a picture? Send it to me.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Well,
Send it to everyone.
I'm gonna tweet it out too. People are gonna be like, "Wait, I don't get it." It's like, well, watch the live show, then you'll get it.
Should have come to the live show.
Should have come.
Okay. What character from any other book do you think would survive the best in the murder complex world?
Nobody. I'm kidding.
They would all die.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's man. June from Legend would definitely survive. She would just be able to, like, you know, Day would survive too, both of them.
Yeah.
Who else? Probably anyone from the Harry Potter books, because they could just, like, you know,
Goof themselves out.
Spell and just, like, blast people out of the way.
Problem solved.
Definitely anyone who's a shadow hunter, they would definitely be able to survive too. Anyone that just is a bad A.
So I would survive. Just kidding. I would die. I would literally die.
I don't know if you'd make it.
I would not. No, I wouldn't even like get through. Like, first of all, I would drown if I had to swim from her boathouse to the island, because I hate waves and there's probably lots of waves there, and I would just probably drown. I wouldn't even have a chance to get on land.
You'd just be done. Tiernan seems like a smart person. I feel like you'd be able to, like, outsmart people, and that's how you would survive. And then
I would kill him. I'm kidding, Tiernan. Love you.
No, you wouldn't.
I know where you live.
I know where you live.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, okay, a couple days ago, Sasha spanked me with a copy of 50 Shades of Grey.
It's a video. We started reading like 50 Shades of Grey. He was Christian. I was Anastasia.
I love it. I love it so much. I'm going to do that to my husband now. I'm going to go buy a copy just so I can spank my husband with it.
Like,
I totally almost bought a copy at Half Price Books the other day. It was $2.
yeah. I wish I got the piece. I've only read half the first book, then I got sick of it. I was like, no. Then I want to get the rest of the series because I have 2 of them, and I just want to finish it off. Be like, I have the full series of 50 Shades of Grey. What now? Who's jealous?
Yeah.
I will admit I have not read them, and I probably will not read them.
Yeah, don't read them. They're just like, they're not worth it. I'm tweeting out the picture, guys, of the murder complex.
The teeth kind of look like horse teeth.
Yeah.
Okay. So was it hard to decide from what perspective the book was going to be told regarding the dual perspective, or did you, like, always know from the beginning?
I started out just with Meadow, and then there's a part of the murder complex, you know, they've talked, everyone knows that, you know, it has to do with, like, assassins and that kind of stuff.
Right.
That's not a spoiler, but I wanted to show, you know, some more, like, the inside things that are happening there. So pretty early on, it just kind of happened. Like, I was typing. A lot of times, like, I don't like to plot stuff, and so it just kind of, like, happens organically. And so I'm, like, sitting there, like, working on a chapter for Meadow. I'm like, chapter 1, Meadow. And then chapter 2, I'm like, Zephyr. And I'm like, what did I just type? That's a whole new...
Oh my gosh.
What is that? So I just kind of, like, went with it. Okay, and then let's just see what happens, and it turned into a book.
I wish I could do that. I would get so off topic and I start writing about something totally different. Like, it'll turn into, like, a high fantasy novel.
No.
And the dragon came down and burned everyone. What?
The complex.
All right. Do you have any favorite quotes from your book, or any other book, really?
Ooh. That's a great question. I really honestly don't know if I could just, like, pick out a quote right now. I love Delirium is full of quotables that are just, like, heartbreaking. I also really love, there's a quote in The Great Gatsby that I love about her, like, I hope she's a beautiful little fool or something like that. I don't know. I'm not great at remembering quotes, but Harry
Yeah,
Potter,
no, I know what you're talking about in Gatsby.
yeah, there are some.
All right.
That's hard. I don't like this question.
Okay, moving on then. If the murder complex were ever to be made into a movie, do you have like a dream cast?
Yes, I do. Saoirse Ronan, who plays in Hannah and also the host, she would be the perfect Meadow.
That's how you pronounce your name?
Yeah, Saoirse. Isn't that cool?
Royce. Wow.
Yeah, that's. And then I looked it up, and it's actually Saoirse, which is super weird.
Oh my God.
And then I also really like Teresa Palmer, who is in I Am Number 4. She plays like number 6, like the bad A girl that comes in at the end. She would also be a good Meadow. And then I don't know if you guys watch The Walking Dead, but I'm obsessed with that show. And the girl who plays Beth, who is Maggie's little sister, I also think she would probably be a good Meadow. She has that look about her.
Yeah.
I love her. And then for Zephyr, it's always been Max Irons, like no one else, ever. And he's like the most stereotypical answer is just Max Irons for like every YA book, but I just love him. And he is
so attractive. I like his face.
Me too. But that would be the coolest. Man, I would love to see it in a movie. Also a TV show, I think that'd be fun too.
Oh, that'd be so fun, yeah. I think that'd be really interesting, like really intense TV show. I like that.
I want to be in it.
You want to be in it?
Can I be an extra? Like I can be in the background, like, hey, and then I can get killed.
You're like, I'm an experienced extra.
And I can kill her.
Yeah, you can do the killing. I love it.
I'm liking where this is going.
My dog wanted to come in. Hey, Oliver. Oh, you're so cute. Do you want to come say hi to the camera? Oh, here he goes. Oh, his breath smells so bad. Oh, God. What is
if I let my dogs in, the whole screen would just go black. Like, their tails would be off. Like, it would be disastrous.
How many dogs do you have?
I have one, like, 85-pound German Shepherd. I have one, like, 65-pound German Shepherd Husky mix. And then I have one German Shepherd Wolf hybrid, and he's, like, 100 and something pounds. And he
That's so cool.
Pure chaos. Like,
that is so neat. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. He's on Instagram. I always call him Love Cub on there.
Yeah.
He's great.
We have another writing question. It says, I was reading a writing advice book, and it said not to plot because the result tends to be mechanical and it doesn't flow. Do you agree, and did you outline your book?
That's really interesting that someone would say not to plot. Wow. I wonder what book did this person read? I want to know.
Brooke Freeman, what did you read?
Yeah, what did you read, Brooke Freeman? I have to plot now because when you write under contract, they want to know, like, you know, what the book is going to be about by the time you turn it in. So, like, a lot of authors that are on contract, you have to plot. I don't enjoy plotting. I like to write freely. There's, like, plotting and there's pantsing. I am more of a pantser, but I've had to become a plotter, you know, now that I'm contracted. But I think that it can actually help because you have to know where your story is going, and you have to have every scene and every sentence be moving your story more and more towards the end. It always has to be moving forward. So that's really interesting. I think that plotting is
in a book about that.
I'm just like at a loss for words. I want to know who said that. I mean, everyone's different. If you don't plot, that's totally fine. I used to not plot. I didn't plot the murder complex when I wrote it, but everything since then has been. Has this person answered? I want to know.
Yeah, Brooke Freeman, if you're still here, let us know what book you read. Okay. How hard was it to find a publishing company to accept your work?
Oh my gosh, it was so hard. That's the hardest thing. No, for everyone it's different. For me, once I got my agent, like if you want to be published by like HarperCollins, Simon & Schuster, like some of the bigger ones, they typically want you to have an agent before they read your work. And so the whole agent process that took a couple months. But once you get an agent, they're the ones that like will meet up with editors and email them and like give them like the elevator pitch of your book and try and convince these editors to read it. And then once the editor reads it, if they like it, then they have to take it to what's called an acquisitions meeting, and that's like all the people, that are involved in the process of publishing the book. So it's like 8 people that all have to agree on if they want to give you a book deal or not. So you have a lot of people that you have to get through, but everyone's different. For me, I think it was like 9 months of no after no after no after no. And that was really hard because, I felt like they were rejecting me as an author, not my book. So you have to remember that it's not about you personally. It's about your book. And it's not that it can be a bad book either. A lot of times, like, there's probably books that I love that like Sasha and Tiernan don't love. It's just everything is how you feel, and so that's how publishing is too. Because again, it's art. So it takes a lot, but it's totally possible. And some people can sell their books in like a week. Mine took 9 months. Other people it takes a week. It's just always different. The person answered. They said it was On Writing by Stephen King. Oh my goodness, that's shocking.
Yeah.
I just started reading that, and I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Really? Oh my God.
Does not outline his books.
Wow. Okay, he's the master. I mean, everyone knows that he's the master, but that surprises me because like I have to plot. So now I need to like tell all of publishing like, hey, Stephen King said no plotting, and then we will never have to plot again.
No, everyone will listen.
Dang.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
I think we have time for a couple more questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Thumbs up the ones you like, and if you have a really good question, give it to us now.
Oh, there's a good one. It says, is the book going to be translated into other languages like Portuguese or, Because I know it's hard to sell foreign books.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's hard. Right now, it's sold to Portugal. So is that Portuguese? If it's sold to Portugal?
It's Portuguese. Yeah.
Yes. So it's sold to Portugal. I think I talked to my editor, Inside Scoop. I think more country and foreign sales will come sooner now that the book has actually come out. But as of right now, just Portugal. So, go knock on your publishing house's doors at all your countries and be like, hey, you need to buy the rights to the Murder Complex.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Oh, let's do this. Yeah, that's exciting. I want to see all the different covers that they do for different countries and stuff.
That'd be so cool. That'd be so cool. I could already picture it. Like, maybe, no, actually, that's really gruesome, but maybe like a knife and like a girl being like, usually foreign book covers, you have to be careful with them because Polish ones always suck. Guys, I can say this. I've been to Poland. I'm Polish. But they have really bad book covers there, so I apologize if you're Polish and those book covers. Because, like, really, UK book covers are good, though. So if you live in the UK, usually you get good book covers.
Yeah.
I'm curious, how much say did you have in this cover?
You actually really don't get a lot of say in your covers, like, at all. Like, I waited probably a year, and then one day my editor was like, hey, she sent me an email and was like, here's your cover. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's it? Like, that's what they do. You don't get to tell them, here's what I want, make this happen. The original girl that they chose, I didn't really like her too much, and so my editor, she did give me like 3 different cover concepts. It was like the same cover with a different girl. And this one happened to be the one that I was like, I'm obsessed with this one. I love her. And my editor was like, yay, that's the one I love too. So I think both of us, loving it so much, that kind of helped. But that was, as far as input, that was about all that I got. I have seen the second cover, and I'm really happy with it. So
I'm excited. I think that, for example, I'm just going to give a brief example. So when book covers, they change throughout the series. So, for example, the Cross the Universe series, they changed it from this book. Ready? This book? This is the original
Biggest frustration of my life.
This one?
I know, me too.
Then they changed it to one. Like, what is this madness? It doesn't even look good. Like, they're all different, and it's like, that's what my thing, that's just like awkward. It doesn't even look like the same series. And they're all great covers. I personally like this one better because this one's just so pretty. I love it. But the final one's more for like boys and girls, so I get it. But
yeah, they do that to try and reach a wider audience or different audience.
Why couldn't you finish the series in the original covers though?
I know. Because I have so many unmatching covers on my bookshelves, and I'm like, no, like I want them all to look the same.
I know, it's such a struggle. It's not fair. It's okay. At least they're book covers.
If they continue, if publishers keep doing it, I guess they have a reason for it. So we'll see. But mine, I think people will be happy with the second one.
I'm excited to see it. Oh gosh.
I'm excited. Okay. Next question: how doth one query an agent?
Well, two book teens, if one wants to query an agent, basically there's different ways you can do it. You can either go to like a writer's conference and meet an agent face to face, which is what I did originally. Is I went to a conference and I had a chance to just talk to an agent who is my agent now, and I was like, hey, this is a book that I want to write, and she's like, that's a great idea, write it. So then later on, I was able to just email her and be like, hey, here's the book you were interested in. But if you want to just query what I did for my first book, there's a website that I love. It's called querytracker.net, and it's like free. You create a free account, and it has like this huge database of like every agent out there and what genres they represent and how to query them. Every agent has like different rules, but basically a query letter is like a one-page short description of what your book is about, who you are, what the word count is, and then you just kind of hope that the agent wants to read it. But it's a fun process. It really is. You get lots of rejections and you get lots of requests, so it's just a fun, active process. But you can totally research that. There's tons of blogs from authors that have their querying tips, and I would definitely suggest researching before you dive into it.
Cool.
I like that. That's really good.
All right. We'll take two more questions. The first one is, this person is writing a trilogy, but wondering if it's best to publish the first one or wait until they're finished with the entire trilogy.
Okay. I think the best thing that you should do is you should only write the first book, because you don't know if the first book is going to sell. And if it does sell, then you're likely going to get like a big edit letter, and everything that you've done could change. And so if you wrote the whole series, but then you sold the first book, everything will change from what you've done. So you don't want to have it all written and then have to go and change all these things in the second and third book. And also, I think it's just best to, if you're wanting to try and get a publisher, just write the first book and then move on to your next thing, because you don't know if it's going to sell and you don't want to waste time writing an entire trilogy. So I know that's hard, but if you're going to self-publish, then just go ahead and write it all. Just go for it. So you can write.
I think self-published authors, like, that's really, I feel like self-publication's becoming a great movement in a way, because lots of people are discovering it, and just because you don't get picked up by a publishing company does not mean you don't have to publish your book. You can publish it, self-publish it, and then you can go back and try to get it picked up by an author. I know Lindsay and I know authors, Abby Kettner and Missy Kalikicki of the Branded books, and they are, so yeah, they're self-published authors. I have the book actually here with me, but they just got picked up by a publishing company. So you can still self-publish and you can still do all that stuff, but you can also still get picked up by a company. Just because they're self-published does not mean you will stay self-published.
Yeah, and it also doesn't mean that you're a bad writer. There's a lot of self-published books out there that are so incredible. It just means that you're getting the right editor, or it just means that they didn't want to traditionally publish. Either way is fine. As long as you're getting your book out there and you're doing what you love, then I say go for it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Like, instead of writing it all and then trying to sell it, like, they're going to try to change it along the way.
Yeah. So, I think it's always best to just write the first one and then see what happens, but move on if you're going to try and get it published. But if you're doing it yourself, then just write them all. Or maybe write the first one, see what people think about it, and then write the second.
All right, for our big grand finale question, I love this question. Tell us a really small story you would write if the main characters were Sasha and me. And this is from John.
Okay. This is so funny. I would put Sasha and Tiernan on a very small life raft with one bottle of water, one gun with one bullet, and
Tiernan.
I would push them out there, and I would see who came back.
I would push him off the raft and totally like just stick a brick to him. I'll find a brick. Sorry, Tiernan.
There's no brick on the bed.
I can't share water bottles because I have.
Yeah, he's completely OCD. He's so OCD. I said we were really thirsty and we had a bottle of lemonade in the back of my car. I'm like, do you like just want to like fountain it? He's like, I'm like, like, I don't have cooties. I swear.
It's not even anything personal. Like, I'm gonna get married and we will never share drinks.
Yeah, you know what? That's okay. I don't like. Sometimes my husband and I like. I'll have like he'll have a bowl of cereal or something and be like, "Do you want to finish this?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want your cereal. Like, there's been liquid touching your mouth, and I don't want to touch it."
You know.
But yeah, so I would put them on a raft, give them one bottle of water, one gun with one bullet, and be like, "Only one of you can return. Who's it gonna be?" And then just see what happens.
It's so evil.
I know, isn't it?
I love that.
Sorry I asked.
I love that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best question I think I've ever been asked in my entire like career of answering questions.
You got it here. All right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you, everyone, for all of your awesome questions, and thank you, Lindsay, for coming and talking with us.
Thank you guys. It was so much fun. Love you guys. Y'all are fun.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. All right, maybe we'll have to do another one sometime.
Yes, I agree. I'm in.
For the next book.
Yeah, and for this one. For this one.
Yes, The Balance Keeper. So when does that come out?
September 23rd. It's coming out really soon. Holy crap. Oh my.
Wow.
I just had a panic moment in my mind. Hold me.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for coming, and we will see you later. Bye.
Bye, guys.